Welcome back to What is Going On with Stand with Meg. I'm her sister, but I'm your host, and today we're talking about what Megan was up to during the years of 2023 and 2024. Why are we covering this? So, in last episode, in case you missed it, we covered what was going on with the children, what was going on with the custody situation, what was making Megan an unsafe parent. What we haven't covered is how Megan was spending her time. And I think it's just so important that we talk about this. So in 2023, child number one is no longer in her custody. She's actually living with our older sister, Jamie, who's a saint, by the way. Jamie's taking her to therapy. Jamie works her own job, has all of her own stuff going on, is taking this child to therapy, is taking her to like activities, is helping her homeschool. Jamie is doing it. So as a reminder, child number one is going through it. She's been going at it with her mom. She's not getting along with her dad. She's living with her aunt. She's dropped out of school. She's in and out of psychiatric facilities for attempts on her own life. It's dark. It's a scary time. We reach a point in time when Jamie says to Megan and kind of Craig, but Megan, this isn't working. We need to find a better place for child number one. We need a better place. It's clearly like this clearly isn't working. I cannot provide the support that I need to. You need to find another place for her. So where do you think Megan does? Do you think that she picks up some parenting books and a few courses on how to parent children who are going through crisis? Does she get a job to fund the inevitable expenses of a child with needs? Does she spend as much time as possible working on herself, maybe going to intensive therapy? So ABC, lock in your guesses. And the answer is D, she goes to Greece. She picks up about a month before the child goes into foster care and is in Greece. And we're all like, what the hell? How is she in Greece? What's going on? And she tells all of us, oh, I exchanged photography in exchange for my friends to pay for me to go to Greece. And we're like, that's a lot of money. How are you affording to be in Greece? So she takes all these photos and then comes back and tells child number one that she actually took nudes while she was there and shows child number one the nudes. And so at this point, we're like, does she have an OnlyFans? What's going on? Other things are happening at this moment in time. So I mentioned she's traveling a lot. She's going to Greece. She goes to Vegas. She's going places. She'd been to Hawaii a few years earlier. Always with friends. We were never quite sure who she was going with. But she also starts doing something else. She starts doing a lot of Botox DIY at her home. What started as apparently a barter for lip injections, which clearly, like, we're not well endowed in the upper lip department. She gets her upper lips done through a barter, and then I think she just kind of falls in love with it. And because she is, I don't want to say cheap because she's not cheap, but she decides to save a buck, and orders Botox and filler online and starts doing it at home. She offers to do it to me. She goes, I can do it in my living room. And I said, I want to pay somebody so much money if they're sticking needles in my face. I could not do it. At one point, her face gets so like frozen and weird looking. My dad goes, is her ponytail too tight? Like, he's confused. We have to explain to him that the Botox is happening. She actually shows child number one how she does it. At one point, she's microneedling. She's doing that thing where you put like color on your face and then microneedle it into your flesh. Like, her face is looking crazy. It's actually one of the conversations we bring up during her that like one of our intervention calls was like, what's going on? What are you doing to your face? This is weird. You're saying you don't have money, and then like look at your face. If you look at her TikToks now, you can see clearly she is fresh. She often has a fresh lip flip, and her lips. I have no issues with Botox and filler, but like she's doing it DIY at home. That's so dangerous. She also does something else. She gets some new boobs, which I find fascinating. And I know this because my sister, who's a doctor, was visiting, and she called the sister that's a doctor and said, hey, will you come check out my incision? Something's wrong. We were like, what incision? And we go over there, and she'd gotten some new boobies. So she is eat, pray, loving. She's getting her best body, new her, new year, new time. Who's child number one? She doesn't know. What else does she do? She buys a new house. She already had a house that had enough bedrooms for every child. She sells that house which there is a good amount of equity. I don't want to discount that. She buys a new house in Gardner, Kansas, which is BFE. Okay. I also live in BFE. I can say that. She buys a $500,000 house, not just house, a new construction, which is unnecessary, in Gardner, Kansas, that is actually smaller than the house she had before and is actually further away from the support system that she's been relying on. And we're like, what are you doing? She also buys a new car. It's a new car. We're all like, where's this money coming from? Which further confirms our suspicion of an OnlyFans account. We're like, what is she doing? What is going on? She also gets rid of all of their furniture and goes and buys all new furniture for all the children except for child number one. So through this move, child number one officially doesn't have a space in this new house. So Megan will go on to scream and cry that she lost her house because of her ex. She kind of did, I guess, because she closed on this house and then within months lost custody of her children, which means a few months later she lost child support. And I'm assuming her mortgage was reliant on that. We don't really know the details of this. We do know at some point she takes out a loan from a man upstate New York. Poor guy. There's a lot of it. But so if you're like, oh, you know, she was a mom having a difficult time, she didn't do it right. She was a mom having the time of her life while her children were absolutely falling into pieces. So if you want to know more about Megan's character, there you go.